The exchange operators of Nigeria says currency speculators will lose huge funds as the Central Bank of Nigeria plans to resume dollar sales to more than 5,000 Bureau de change operators across major cities nationwide. The Naira is facing its greatest risk from the coronavirus pandemic as currency speculators continue to make spurious demand for the dollar, with hope to make good returns from the rising gaps between official and parallel market rates. The ABCON president, Gwadable, says speculators are taking advantage of the fact that the major source of foreign currency liquidity is now foreign debt, not petrodollars, because the economy is mostly dependent on imported textiles, refined oil, food, and medicals, amongst others. The deposit money banks have, however, commenced forex sales to customers for school fees, while SMEs making essential imports needed to revamp economic activities is allowed to bid for forex. At the partial resumption of forex sales, the CBN says it is providing more than $100 million per week for school fees and the SMEs. Last week, the dollar exchange rate at the parallel market jumped to 452 Naira to the dollar over speculations by operators in the market and the effect of the country's rising foreign debt. Today, the Naira trades against the dollar at 386 Naira to the dollar. Earlier in April, transactions on the CBN's importers and exporters window hit $171 billion as forex inflows stood at $93.85 billion. Joining me via Skype is the president of the Association of Bureau de change Operators of Nigeria, Gwadable, as we discuss the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the forex market and necessary interventions and infrastructure to boost the segment of the market. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's start this way. COVID-19 and its effect on your day-to-day business. How has it been with BDC operators? How has it been all the while?
Honestly, the impact of COVID-19 on our business has been more of topsy-turvy, disruptions, shortages, closure of businesses, and volatility, spike. Name it. In fact, we are the most vulnerable. You know, we are in a sector that any economic shortfall or closure will definitely affect our subsector. We are more vulnerable than even the banking industry. We are more vulnerable even than airline industry because all these ones, they have even essential services during the lockdown. But the Liquidity change were denied, as we talk with you, even an essential service to boost their business and liquidity in the market. So it's a total blow on our operations and profitability.
Now we see the issue on the reserves at the moment dwindling. How would you react to this? And where else can Nigeria get liquidity from, particularly at this time? Many are talking about diaspora remittances. Or where are we to look at this time?
Honestly, I want to share the concern of the Central Bank of Nigeria and also the concern of the Committee on Sustainability, the Economic Sustainability, and their recommendation. The liquidity is a crisis. We are really in a crisis. In fact, the exchange rate is infected by coronavirus too in this country because, like you rightly said, the value of the Naira have dropped by about 31%. So you can see the scope of the crisis we are facing. The crude oil prices are down. Even the output is down. You can't sell more than a quarter given by the OPEC Plus. So these are really tough time period for the regulators, for the policymakers alike. However, and that have really also impacted on, it has helped in so many economic behaviors that are even not productive to the economy. This economic behavior of speculation and audit is pervading the economy. And two, the economy is a dependent economy. We largely depend on food, on medicals, on textiles. And this is a country that's heavily reliant on foreign inflows, investors' inflow, foreign direct investment, letter of credit, bills for collections. Most of our manufacturers rely on bills for collections. They send these goods to them by their manufacturers abroad, and they have to pay after some time. And the pandemic from nowhere came up. So it has really created demands that are even not in the mind of the regulator or any other analyst. We have huge demand in the market as a result of all these activities. And the only sources, like you have said, Nigeria largely depend on oil revenue, which is about 90% of our revenue comes from oil. So that is a challenge. Now, all our measures are on demand measures in terms of exchange rate policies, measures that we put to curtail exchange rate. They are demand measures. So now we need to have a paradigm shift from demand measures to supply measures. And what are these supply measures? The supply measures, first is oil. In fact, I would advise in our budgeting, we henceforth be using zero revenue in terms of our oil. That will give us a better sense of planning so that we can face reality. Because insofar as we continue to rely on oil revenue that is dwindling, that is not coming, that is threatening, it's really not going to be good for us. So I want us to borrow the creative destructions analysis, the creative destruction policy theory, where we won't have to come out from the old wine bottle to a new wine bottle. One is to enhance the backward integration so that we will reduce our dependence on our imported goods. Let it be anything that we have in this country should be included in prohibited import list. Very, very important. So that we can encourage the local industries to grow. The most germane and important, and where we are losing much, is the diaspora remittances that you have mentioned. The World Bank statistics have indicated we are receiving about $29 billion every year into this country. And most of it, we cannot see. Most of it does not even come into this country. It remains where it's being received and used for payment of debt obligations. So let us devise a means whereby we can see the influence of these diaspora remittances. It's one of the major sources of cheap funds, stable, and remain. Talk of foreign direct investment, talk of portfolio investment, all these are hot money that as soon as there is another pandemic, there is security challenges, there is whatever you can call environmental hazard, they will start lifting it to the so-called safety destinations. So where is safety? That they are all converting their local asset to foreign asset. This cannot happen with the diaspora remittances. So it remains one of the most biggest sources of foreign exchange that we're going to look at. And that one too, the bureau de change should be made, like we always advocate, the direct agent of the IMTSO, so that the inflow can be seen. We are working with renowned consultants. We are developing, designing bank-grade applications that intelligence to track, dictate suspicious transactions, track, dictate return renditions to regulatory authorities like Central Bank of Nigeria and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit.
Indeed.
We are putting a lot of automation to ensure that the bumper of diaspora remittance, and I sincerely want to appreciate the effort of the National Assembly, the effort of NIDCOM, Nigeria Diaspora Commission, and most importantly, the Central Bank. They are putting their eyes, they are using their intelligence, everything to ensure that they see the huge volume that's going to come into this country. And Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about issues around speculators now. We've had this in the market for some time. Sharp practices, people storing foreign currency and waiting for a spike and quickly want to dispose it and all of that. How does that come to you?
That is one of the most honestly disturbing and worrisome aspects, because it's an unproductive activity. You don't need dollar. Why are you buying dollar to speculate? It's an unproductive activity. It's rent-seeking. Speculation could be a legal business, but whereby it's ruining the economy, whereby it's creating unemployment, whereby it's creating inflation. Let me tell you now, which business is going to survive? Naira have devalued by 31%. Interest rate is 21%. You add that, that's 52%. Financial cost implication of a businessman. You did not add the other cost implication. Which business is going to survive in Nigeria with speculation if we continue with it? Which country allow its own currency to fall at will? So it's a misnomer. Nigeria cannot accommodate speculation. It's a very, very bad economic activity, economic behavior that it's not good, it's not allowed, it's not good. So it's affecting the system. I told you, Naira devalued by 31%, all out of speculation.
Really worrisome.
All out of loss of confidence in the local currency. People that have shop sell their money, they don't want to go and get another stock, they want to keep dollars. People that don't want dollars, they convert their bank Naira account into dollars. So tell me, you see, we run a different system here whereby we always want to catch on opportunities. Yeah. We need to be more productive and engage in economic activities that will add value to the economy.
Beautiful. Now let me come in here. Now the roles that BDC plays cannot be overemphasized. It's very important. We know the role that you play. Now, how soon do we expect the CBN to bring you guys back into business so that people can get Forex to pay school fees, medicals, and all of that?
All glory be to God. The CBN still have over 36 billion reserve, which is more than 6 months of import as the standard all over the world. So the CBN still have muscle to maintain liquidity in all the windows of the market. That is given. Yes, of course, for the past 3 months, the BDC, all our windows are shut down. And we have collaborated with the CBN in 2008 when there was a recession. And there was a gap of about 30 Naira, 50 Naira then. We closed the gap with 50 COP. In 2017, there was another gap of 80 Naira like what we are having now. The BDC came with the collaboration of the Central Bank and brought down for 4 years. There is no disparity between the BDC rate and the parallel market rate. Yes, I agree there are other multi-market in the system or in the economy. But between the parallel market, the CBN were able to direct where even the rate in the parallel market is going because of the collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bureau de Change. But now, the parallel market is being the king of determining what is exchange rate in the economy. So we have been collaborating with the Central Bank of Nigeria, and not long ago, they have written us of their readiness to ensure that we are back and we have reopened our offices. However, the issue of the continuous shutdown of the airline is still a Ghanaian problem that we are facing. But we are also talking to the CBN. Since the banks are allowed to do medical fees, to do subscription, to do insurance, to do school fees, all these are our scope. The CBN should also consider, because it's case of information. I can assure you, tell the economy today, tell Nigeria, tell public that BDC has come back to operation. I'm telling you, the Naira is going to go back to its normal value of about 380 to 385. This can be done under 2 weeks by the Liquidity Church. Wow, so we are appealing, we're appealing to the Central Bank, and we're willing to continue to undertake these responsibilities as roles that have always been given to us by the central bank. We still remain the potent tool of the civilian monetary exchange rate stability.
Finally, I'm looking at the economic impact now of thousands of your members not being in business, not being running business for more than 3 months, like you said. How has that been? Let's round up on that note.
Honestly, every day we are calming down our members, we are giving them hope, we are giving them confidence. But it's really worrisome. A lot of us cannot even pay salary. 3 months of shutdown is not easy. But we are talking to our members, we are ensuring they are okay, they are good, and we hope soon we'll all turn back to business.
It's really nice having you on the show, Alhaji Aminu Gwadable. He's the president of ABCON. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on Business Nigeria this afternoon.